Hey y'all, how you doing? Tim here. Caught me eating a little bite of supper. Yeah, that's a fruit jar full of sweet tea. A delicacy here in the South. Just got home from work a little while ago. I have got a great family. I've got a brother just younger than me, and I've got a sister younger than me. I'm the oldest of three. And I've been blessed to have a really good family. My brother, I've mentioned to you before, I admire him. I admire my sister too. My brother, though, he possesses the unique ability to be able to get me just hysterically tickled. And he's notorious for calling and starting right in the middle of a conversation as though you've been talking for a long time. He called me one day, and I answered the phone. I said, hello. He said, hey man, you know, it's the little things in life that mean the most. And having talked to him for years and knowing how he is, I played along. I said, yeah, that's the truth. He said, you know, things like a decimal point can mean a whole lot to a man. I said, yeah, I can see where that would be the case. He said, you know, we bought that little travel trailer, and we were going to take the boys on vacation, and we did that. And we went all up, round and spent about a week traveling around. He said, we pulled into this real nice trailer park. And we parked there, and he said, and the thought occurred to me that I might ought to take this as an opportunity to empty the septic tank on the trailer. And I said, sounds like a logical thing to do. He said, well, I've never owned one of them trailers before, and I didn't know exactly how to do that. He said, so I broke out the owner's manual. And the owner's manual said that you take the discharge hose and you put it into the sewer line at the trailer park. And he said, and then it said that before you open the valve to evacuate the contents of the septic tank, he said the owner's manual said that you were supposed to pump 8.0 pounds of pressure into the tank to facilitate the expulsion of the contents. I said, yeah, that sounds about right. He said, well, I missed that decimal point. At this point, I could see where the story was headed. He said instead of 8.0 pounds of air pressure, he said, I pumped 80 pounds of pressure into the septic tank. He said, I noticed the tank was kind of strutted out, He said, but it's what the owner's manual said to do, so I figured it was the right thing to do. He said, and I noticed that when I finally got that 80 pounds in there, he said, I noticed that the valve to open, he said, I had to really get on that valve to open that thing. And he said, but when I did, he said, it was a traumatic thing. At this point, I've got tears welling up in my eyes because I know not to interrupt, because to do so means we're going to start the whole story back over. He said, when I finally got that valve broke open, he said that hose, that discharge hose, he said just kind of sort of come alive. He said it just kind of straightened out, kind of like a cannon, he said. He said there was a man parked next to us that had a real nice, one of them real nice Winnebago, travel homes, motor homes. He said, looked like it was just right about brand new. And he said he had some nice lawn furniture and stuff out there, and what appeared to be a brand new Weber kettle grill. He said, I knocked all that over. He said, and he said about that time some solids started kind of whooping against the side of his bus, boom, 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 boom. He said that's when the fella come out and said he didn't appear to be able to talk real good because he was kind of gasping for air and looked like he was crying. And he said, I don't see how that poor fella's going to be able to clean none of that up. That's just probably going to have that repainted, I'm guessing. He said, but you know what? After that, he said, we had a real good time. He said, there wasn't nobody nowhere around us, nowhere. He said, the kids had plenty of room, to get out and play and just have a big time. He said, but it did look like to me, from where we had originally parked that trailer, it scooted over about a foot. That's a true story. My brother tickles me real bad. And I hope y'all get the chance to meet him sometimes, because I guarantee you he'll tickle you too. I love y'all. This is Tim.